So hi, this is Keshav from Dr. Behind the Scenes. If you are new here, Dr. Behind the Scenes is basically where we share our life, our journey, and a lot of other things, live session with doctors, and a lot of other things. You can check it out. So the agenda of today's live is basically to talk all about next, everything about it, like what it is, and what should be the proper approach, what should be the strategy, and all the other things. Guys, we did this session on Instagram, and these are some reviews by our audience. They absolutely loved it, and if you continue watching, I think you will love it too. Hello, sir.
Yes, how are you?
Sir, I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you.
Yes, sir. Sir, how are you?
I'm doing just. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So, sir, today's agenda of the live is to talk everything about next, starting from the what the basic things of next are, like what it is, and what should be the preparation strategy and all everything. Okay, so sir, let's begin. Okay.
Go-
So, sir, the first question and the basic question from all the students is, from which year the next exam will be implemented? Like, from which year next exam will start?
I think you all must have seen the official notification now. It is now a proper thing that it will be from 2023. Next will be from 2023.
2023. So, 20 December 2022 will be the last attempt for FMG, right? MCI. Okay. Okay. And sir, what pattern can we expect? I know it's a basic, but still, what pattern can we expect in the next?
Complete clinical questions.
Okay. So, is it mostly like comes from the clinical subject or clinical question from all the subjects like?
Uh, See, you have to understand one thing, that is, clinical is not a subject, clinical is a concept.
Exactly.
I'll just tell you one thing. For example, I'll just give you COVID layman examples. You must have seen people coming for COVID, and COVID patients are advised to take steam inhalation. Why? Because steam
Because to,
increases the capacity of alveolar sacs so that they can absorb oxygen better, absorb and retain oxygen better. Now, if I ask you, in as a question that you get a COVID patient, why do you give this? And the answer that I just gave you, now that's a physiology answer. You have to go
exactly,
back
sir.
to the lung physiology to actually answer that question. So the clinical word is a concept where there's an integration of multiple subjects. You start with physiology, you attach a real life scenario in it, that a patient comes to you, he's a COVID positive patient, he's facing breathlessness. How, which is a non-pharmaceutical condition where he can be helped out. The answer is he can just take at home steam inhalation.
Oh,
That particular process is a clinical question, but the answer, my friend, is from physiology. So if you don't know physiology, you will not be able to answer this question. Am I right?
yes,
So the clinical word is where there is integration of multiple subjects. That is
yes,
called clinical question.
yes, sir. Yes. And sir, next exam are expected to have two parts, right? Next one and next two.
Yes.
And there is one news like for FMG, it has three exams.
Problem is that that was a draft that was published. It also
Okay.
stated FMGs will only be given two things, will
Hmm.
be given two attempts. So I
Okay.
was very against that draft because I believe that in the whole world nobody should be allowed, nobody should have limited opportunities. And
Exactly.
our Indians are trying to come back to the country. How can you say that only two attempts are allowed? They should be allowed as many attempts as possible. That freedom should always be given. So that draft was taken back by the government, and I think
Okay.
wait for another draft. But what they believed in that draft was that next one for FMGs will have two examination, one with all clinical subjects and one with all first and second year subjects.
Okay. And sir, next exam, like there will be a next exam. Then we can do the internship, and
Yes,
then there will be a next two exam. And next two exam will be a practical exam, or it is also a theoretical exam?
So whether it is going to be a practical exam or an MCQ based exam, that is still not clear. Basically,
Okay.
but the syllabus will be what you learned during the internship.
Okay.
Syllabus.
And okay. And sir, this next one exam, like if
Yes.
an FMG wants to give the next one exam, like in MCI, they just have to score 150 and they can do the internship, right? But in next one, is it still the same, or do they have to rank, or do they have to score some marks, then only they can do it internship?
So basically, what I believe, and that is just my own personal opinion, they are not given anything concrete right now. That FMGs will be given first a passing percentage. It can be
Okay.
30, 40, it can be 50, whatever they decide. And then when they cross for that, let's assume it's a 50 percentage.
Okay.
If they cross 50, then they are now a Indian licensee, Indian temporary
Mm-hmm.
license. Now, if in that particular examination, if they score well, so they will be getting PG seat from the same examination.
Okay.
So they don't need to wait like right, today. What happens is you give the MCA examination, then you give the NEET examination for post grad.
Yes.
Now you don't need a different examination. In the same examination, you will be given different parameters. You cross 40
Okay.
percentage, you are an Indian temporary licensee. Then after that, now you are into the ranking standards. Higher you rank,
Okay.
better the chance of getting a post grad seat in India.
Okay. And sir, so if a student, let's say 50% is the passing percentage for next one, and he got 55%.
Okay.
So his rank is not good enough to go into a private or a government seat, right? So he does it internship. Then again, he has to give the next one, or he has to give next two.
See, what I believe again in my own personal opinion that they are going to give you a lock-in period. That if you want to start your internship, if you want to start your internship, you have to choose one of the two things. That is either you choose a post-grad seat or you
Okay.
lock in your score. For the next 3 years, that locked-in score will be with you. You can appear in
Okay.
any of the subsequent counselings and then put the score forward, and they will be happy to give the seat available at that score. Let's assume you are not happy with the score, neither you are happy with the seat. So that means you will
Okay.
not be allowed to start the internship. You will be asked to sit back at home and drop 1 year and then give the examination again. And then choose from the above two following. That is either choose a post-grad seat or lock in your score.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
only
Okay.
after your lock-in period is over, you will be allowed to give the next one again.
Okay, sir. Okay. And so just a second, sir. And sir, like MCI exam was like just we have to pass, and there are no negative marking, right? In next exam, is there any negative marking
Yeah,
like NEET PG,
they
or
have
still
not
not sure?
the clarity on that. But I
Hmm.
do, my own personal opinion, it will be there.
Okay. And is there no like there was a thing they say there are only two attempts we can give for next. It's not. It's already cancelled, right?
Yeah, it's they have taken the draft back.
Okay. Okay. And sir, so like these are the basic next thing, and the thing the most important is how to prepare for the next, right? So what? Yes.
So first of all, to all my FMG friends, you have to break the whole thing that now one-liners are going to save you, and those chanting sessions can actually save you. I'm really sorry, but if you do not focus on concepts, you will not be able to crack that examination because the
Right.
exam pattern has shifted drastically from a single liner to a concept based questions. You can just ask any of your seniors who appeared for this examination. The chantings, that one liner rectification
Mm.
that clearly failed in the whole examination. Now you are clearly getting all the clinical type question, lengthier questions. And if you are preparing for next 23, you have to understand that now the things are going 10 times more difficult. So you
Okay.
have to prepare according to that standard. I mean, I know I can be a bit blunt over here. I'm really sorry for that, but it is the truth.
No problem.
Okay, I mean, I don't know if you have heard about me, but my reputation is always that I am the kind of guy who always speaks the harsh truth, where other people, will try to save you from that. It won't be helpful at all. Next 23 is going to be a very tough examination. You have to start preparing according to the NEET level right now, not the FMG level, even just to crack that examination. The one-liners, the single-liners, the chanting session is not going to help you. You have to understand the whole concept behind the exam, behind every subject.
Exactly.
So my advice to you, if you are using a FMG based thing, please remove that and turn to NEET PG based coachings, because those are the only people who can, take you to that level. That level is required.
Yes.
How to read from, how to actually study, it's a very basic thing. And if you can follow this thing, I can guarantee you a seat in next. How to study, for example, if you are studying from Egroup, you
Okay.
first read first to four videos, anatomy, how to read anatomy. First you read first to four videos, first you watch first to four videos of anatomy by Dr. Ashwini. Then you open BDC, BD Chaurasia, and you
Okay.
read the same topic that you watched the video. You read the same topic from the book. Now, why am I saying this video and the book? Because in the video first, Dr. Ashwini has simplified the concept. When you read from BDC, now your concepts are getting stronger. Now, when you go and watch fifth to eighth video, it's like reading the Harry Potter book and then watching the Harry Potter movie. So immediately you will be able to visualize, okay, Harry Potter looks like this, Lord
Exactly,
Voldemort
sir. Yes.
looks like this. So that visualization pattern will be more helpful to retain the concepts. Fifth to eighth video, then fifth to eighth, same topic from BDC. Then you basically continue this in every subject. Now you will be asking me that, what is this for? This is for concept and this is for university.
Okay.
Where does the next pattern comes in? Next, my friend, is basically a bunch of questions. Next is nothing. I mean, there was NEET, there was FMG, there was next, there is USMLE. What is the biggest difference? It is the type of
Questions.
questions basically gets more difficult in each pattern. For that, you basically open the eGurukul Q Bank and you start solving questions. For example, first to four videos, then first to four topics from BDC, and then you open Q Bank, eGurukul Q Bank, and do the questions from the same topic. Now, this is basically next pattern preparation. Those
Okay.
questions, you will be able to understand what is the level of difficulty that questions can be asked from the same topic. Earlier, if you go for FMG, the old pattern, MCI screening pattern, you will get single liners. Single
Yes.
liners are no more important right now. Especially for students preparing for next 23, single liners are not at all important. You have to prepare yourself for the more difficult, lengthier clinical questions. And that, my friend, I think eGurukul, if you just follow eGurukul, everything can be sufficed in that.
Okay. Okay. That's great, sir. And sir, so as you just said, so it means if a student in first or second year, so they have to start first. They have to do conceptual learning, not theoretical, obviously, full videos and then book, and then along with it, they have to also solve MCQs. So in this way, they will cover both college academics and for the next preparation, right? Okay.
Don't
And so
study just that examination, study to understand the concept, because when you become a doctor itself, these concepts are going to come handy over there also. So in
yes.
DBMCI and eGurukul, we do not, neither we support rectification, neither we promote rectification. Those chanting rectification, those are not worth it to become a doctor. You are trying to understand the human body. So when you get a patient, those rectifications are just going to be like, okay, what is the weakest part in humerus? That is not going to help you out. You have to understand how a fracture can actually affect the bone, how you can treat a fracture, how to make the best possible plaster on a fractured bone. Now that, for that you have to understand the whole concept,
Whole everything.
and
Yes.
that is what I always promote in our classes.
Yes, sir. And sir, and do you think this next will actually help the FMG, or it is little bad than MCI, or it's in a good way that this next is coming?
I think that's a delicate question, but the one thing that I believe that can help FMG out is it will push them to understand the concept.
Yes, that's the main thing.
That is the whole thing. Even NEET 2017, it was all clinical questions. It was all single liner questions. So you should teach accordingly. I mean, it was that what is the best X-ray limit, what is this, what is that. But now, when that concept has changed, even our faculties are very happy because they talk to the students as colleagues. They tell them about their clinical experiences, clinical scenarios, and the students are much more happy because they actually get to learn what medicine is all about. It is not just about the range of hypothermia or hyperthermia. It is about understanding that why that fever is happening, what was the main cause, and how a student, a medico, is actually able to help the patient out. It is a, I mean, it is a very broader aspect of that medicine field. So the students will actually enjoy it. It is a little bit of a difficult thing, but you will, as a doctor, you will enjoy that whole journey. That is what I believe.
Yes, exactly. It's a more of a conceptual learning too, right? So learning the homes and how to apply this in a human body actually, not just for exam.
To every student watching this, when you understand a concept, that kind of inside happiness is next level. I'm not joking.
Serious.
So when you
Yes.
understand a concept and you are able to solve multiple questions using that single concept, not by ratification but by understanding the concept, that level of happiness is something extraordinary. So you will love being a doctor with that.
Yes, sir. And sir, this was the strategy for like first or for initial year students, right? For the first, second, they have time. They can do a lot of things. But for the students, like FMG is of 5+1, right? Five is college and one is internship. So total 6 years. But for the students who are in fourth or fifth year, they don't have that much time. So what should be the strategy now? Like who are in fourth or fifth year, how should they prepare for next? Because I think they are going to be the first one who will see the next exam.
So if you have 2 years in your hand, the first year today, right now, for example, you have to first study first, second, third year. Please do not
Okay,
jump directly to final year. I'll give you an example, Keshav. Okay, I'll show you the example. Broca's area is responsible for what?
speech, right?
Very simple question. This is a NEET 2017 question, anatomy. A
Okay,
37-year-old man comes into your clinic with a complaint that he's having difficulty while speaking. Which area in the brain can have the most probable lesion? Answer?
Broca's area.
Broca's
Simple.
area. Very simple. Which subject is this question from?
Anatomy.
Anyone in the chat
Medic.
section want to take a try? My friend, this is a medicine question.
Why, sir?
This is a medicine question because you have a patient coming into your clinic. He tells you about his problem. You found out that he has a lesion because of a test that you conducted, and now you have to understand the problem given by the patient in the question format. It's a classic example of problem solving question, which is going to be one of the type of question that is going to be asked in the next examination. And this is a
Okay.
medicine question, but the crux is anatomy. So when I told you that clinical is a concept, this is the perfect example. And so many 90% questions are basically going to be like this only. Like they are going to give you a clinical scenario that a patient comes to you or you have a patient on the table, you are in a surgeon's mind, and then they ask you a basic simple question. But for that, your pre and paraclinical, that is anatomy, physio, biochem, patho, pharma, micro, needs to be very, very strong. If
Exactly.
it's not, you will not be able to answer these kind of clinical questions. I'm really sorry. So, to all the people, 2 year plan should be first, second, third year in your current year, and in your next year of 2022 and 23. 22 should be what? 22 should be final year, and
Finally.
23, 22 half, and 23 should be total revision. That is the plan that you need to have.
Yes. Exactly. And
Without,
yes, sir. You were saying something.
no, no, please continue. Without basic subjects, you will not be able to understand the proper clinical subjects.
True, sir. That's correct. And sir, what I was going to ask. Yeah. So, sir, can you recommend resources like for the preparation of next? What should be the proper resource that one can, like the questions that comes in next, more of a conceptual, right? Full whole concept, a 34-year, as you mentioned, a full concept. Can you recommend some resources for a student which can?
DBMCI's Egroup is a perfect resource if you want to prepare for next. Not because I
Okay.
am from that company, but because I'm telling you the level of lectures that they have given, that we have given in the app, plus the question bank. It's fantastic. We have given you a mixture of single liner and clinical questions so that you can get into the groove and also you can solve the clinical questions. Mushkil said, I mean, I have not put just difficult question just to make the app spectacular. No, it's a mixture. So when you start, you will get single liner questions to give the student a confidence. And then by the end, you will be getting a lot of clinical questions. So that now you are into that level, you can solve those questions. We make sure that even through a technical aspect, we give our students a confidence booster also. Plus, if I talk about videos, you will be getting almost 1,000 hours of videos. So we are going to prepare you according to the next only now. So that those kind of old ideals that no FMGs are supposed to be taught less, it doesn't work anymore. You can follow the old ideals, but it will not get you any result. Plus, we are going to give you around 200 tests in that app. We are going to give
That's
you
great.
test
That's great.
discussion, that is 100 MCQs, then followed by discussion, that is your first revision, and then we have LMRP, that is like 100 hours of revision videos. So basically, first you read through 1,000 hours of main videos, then you add QBank simultaneously. Then you move
Yes.
to TND, that is 100 MCQs per subject, and then discussion, that is first revision. And then you have 250 hours of LMRP, that is pure revision videos, that is your final revision. And you are going to get this every year. You are
That's
going to
great.
get this every year. So today, right now, what offer that we are running is buy a 2-year advance plan, that is including everything, and we are giving notes worth 10,000 rupees free in that. So you can visit egurukulapp.com. This is the last day that we are doing that.
That's great. That's great. And like if a person who are in, let's say, in any year, and he wants to start studying, like let's say he's in fourth year and he haven't studied in initial third year, right? So what should be the strategy? Either he should start subject wise, like he should take a one subject and then he should complete the whole subject, or he should go with the organ wise, like full cardiology starting from anatomy, physiology, or then medicine,
No, he should
like
go.
that.
He should go subject wise. Sometimes old things are really good, and if you are, I mean, if you are in third year right now, so basically you have almost what 1 point like 2 years. If I say
Two
that, like,
2.5 years, yeah.
so first, second, third year in your first year, final year in your final year, plus revision of all 19 subjects, and
Okay.
go subject wise. Go subject wise.
And so like in MCA, there were two exams in an year, right? One in June and another one in December.
Yes.
So, sir, is next is also gonna be the same two like two exams in a year, or it's gonna be we have to give only one attempt in a year?
I think next is going to happen once in a year only.
So one has to wait around 1 year for the exam.
Yes. So that is why FMGs need to take it very, very seriously from right now.
Otherwise, another 1 year gone.
See, this is the time that you have right now.
Sir,
And this is the
your
course.
camera is,
Is
yes,
it?
no, it's
Oh, yes, great.
no,
So,
it's fine.
I mean, this is the time right now. This is the time right now. I'm sorry, I just charging my phone side by side.
Oh, no problem.
So this is the time. This is the course right now, and this is the time that we have right now. The course will keep on increasing. I mean, I'll just talk about COVID. COVID has added at least 5 chapters in each of the clinical subjects right now, minimum. So that means your course has just increased, but your time has decreased, and time is going to decrease every day. So if you think that नहीं अभी नहीं करूँगा, 1 साल बाद करूँगा, 6 महीने बाद करूँगा, तो आपको उतने टाइम ज्यादा मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. That is the time that you have to give again. So either you give 1 year right now, or you drop and give that 1 year. It is up to you only.
Okay.
So
Yes.
how early you realize the seriousness, better will be your life. That's what I can say.
And sir, if any students just want to pursue, like he just want to go to the hospital, he doesn't want to continue in the PG. So he has to only crack next one, and then
No, you have to
is it
crack
compulsory?
two also.
Next
Next
two also.
one, next two are both you have to compulsorily clear. If you just want
Okay.
to go for MBBS, basically you clear next one, you lock in your score, you clear
Okay.
next, and then you are free. You just you can continue for 3 years. You can continue as plain MBBS, and if you change your mind, you can apply with that score. You can apply for PG as well. After three
Okay.
years, that lock-in score will be over, and even then, you are free as a MBBS to serve. I mean, serve the community, but you won't
That's
receive that score. So, if you want to appear for next again, then you can appear again, and then you have to score a number again. That is whole point.
so, sir. If someone fails next two exam, then what he has to do? He has to give only next two, or again the same
Just,
procedure, just next two.
just next to.
So
So
it's
yes,
simple. Next one, internship. Next two,
and,
finish.
and he has to wait for a certain period of time. For example, like I don't know the real number yet, but you have to wait for like 6 months maybe, and then give the next two examination again, and then you
Okay.
a chance to appear for next two again.
Okay. 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 That's great. And just a second, sir. And sir, can you tell some words for the IMG? This is basically for the FMG part, how they should prepare, and for the IMG, what they should do. And this next one will replace the final exams of their college. No, they have to give final.
Examinations will take place as they used to take place earlier. The only
Okay.
difference is earlier final prof was the exam that students gave to get their temporary degree, but now that
Okay.
exam will be an internal exam conducted by the university, and you will get your temporary degree by clearing next one.
Okay. Okay.
Basically, they have changed NEET PG. NEET PG was a national entrance test.
Yes.
Next is what? Next is a licentiate exam. Next is a licentiate exam.
License exam.
So basically, everybody in the country, like USMLE, is basically a licentiate exam. Now they have taken our level to USMLE. So they have converted the NEET PG into a licentiate exam that is called the next. So everybody who's coming into the country has to clear next one and next two.
So it's compulsory.
It's compulsory for everybody.
Okay. And so if let me think just. I think we covered most of the question about next, the basic stuff about the next and preparation strategy. So do you want to say anything else about something if you think something is left?
Well, guys, I believe I'm just going to repeat myself, and trust me, that is for your own benefit. I'm going to tell you the harsh truths which nobody else is going to tell you. I'm not here to sell you something, I'm here to open your minds. And that is change your strategy today. If you are following the old ideals, it will not be successful because the old exam does not exist anymore. The
Yes.
sooner you change, better your chances in the exam. And next is going to be 10 times more difficult than FMG. 10 times. Don't believe my word? That's okay. Wait for a couple of years and you will see that for yourself. And you will be if you can believe my words, you will be thanking me 2 years later that I can make you crack the examination in 1 year. It's one attempt itself. The current passing percentage for FMG in July, the last December examination was 9%. Is 23%. You might see the increment, but you don't see the failures. The failure is still
Yes.
77%. So if you want, even if you want to be 83%, you have to do something different. You have to do something other than what the 77% is doing.
Exactly.
Change your strategy right now. That's all.
Hmm.
I mean, that is the only thing. The chantings won't work, the rectification won't work. It is just the concepts that will rule. Not just for passing that examination, but in your life as well.
Yes. And sir, just one last question. Like for my batch, like I am in last year, so I am the last batch to give the FMG 2022 December attempt. So then, if I want to pursue my PG, then I have to give my FMG 2022. Then I have to give next also, or directly next two I can give it, or go to the PG part, or
So
I have to give
basically,
next one next two.
if you have cleared your internship in India, okay.
Okay.
So basically, what they're going to do is that every post intern will be giving next one only, and when the result comes up, they will form a different list for post interns and interns and post interns, and they will form a different list for the junior batches.
Okay.
So basically, they'll filter it out. Rank
Hmm.
one, junior batch will be one, and rank one for post intern batch will be one. So the
Okay.
post interns will start the post graduation from that very moment, and the junior batching will start after an internship and clearing next two. So
Okay.
they will be starting next year. You will be starting that year also, and your rank list will include only the post interns and the interns.
Okay. 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 That's great. That's great. So it means it's totally different, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. And sir, just one thing, it's a personal kind of how e-Gurukul started. Like I know DBMCI.
Yeah.
It was started a way back, like in I think 2000 or the 90s started, right? It's the offline coaching.
It was
Then how e-Group 90?
96.
Okay, then how e-Gurukul came into the game.
So basically, I don't know you might know or not. So we were going through a very rough time in 2017 to 2019.
Okay,
And at that point of time, our coaching had taken a major hit in various areas. So I was just, trying to survive every day. And finally, I found out that, when I talked to some of my mentors and everything, that they told me that you have to start something new if you want to survive. The old thing can't, bear the burden anymore. So at that point of time, EdTech was going strong and everything. And
hmm.
then a lot of investing, I took a very big loan from the market, mortgaged my house and everything, and sold off all my cars. And finally, I had generated the funds, and then I invested everything in eGurukul. So at that
Okay,
point of time, eGurukul was the anchor which got us out of that mess. I mean, if I am able to present myself here, I am going to speak at TEDx in September. I think I owe everything
that's
to
great.
Actually, I do. And I think everybody in my institute, in my vicinity knows about the fact that for me, eGurukul is not just an app. It is something that made me alive, made me survive, and it was the one that brought food to my plate. So a lot of emotions are attached to that thing.
That's great. That's amazing.
So I guess just fingers crossed. And the best part was, I mean, 2020 January we launched the app, and from March it was lockdown. So
But it's going great now.
yeah, from by God's grace, it's doing well. Got a Forbes nomination due to it. Got a Fortune India mention
Oh,
because Business Today is mentioned because of it. So everything I owe is because of that only.
and you were handling all this,
Yeah.
all the e-group. That's great.
Yeah,
And sir,
please tell me.
yes, and sir, during your MBBS period, there no coaching, right? There were only offline coaching, I think. There no online, no online. So, like for the students in this generation, they have both access to offline and online. So, what do you think is the best platform to go, either online or to go to offline?
Always offline.
Always offline.
Always offline. So
Why, sir?
whatever was आपने अगर basically when I talk about a coaching institute now, in a coaching institute it is not just about teaching, it is about caring of that student. In e-Gurukul, I give the product to my student. He might study, he might not study, but in coaching we make you study. So if you ever come to Delhi or any of our offline centers, we become your parents. तुम क्लास में नहीं आओगे, हम तुम्हें कॉल करेंगे, तुम क्लास में थोड़ी शैतानी कर रहे होगे, हम तुम्हें डांटेंगे, तुम नहीं पढ़ रहे होगे, हम तुम्हें डांटेंगे, तुम फैकल्टी की आंखों में देखोगे जब बात कर रहे होगे, यू कैन सॉल्व योर डाउट्स, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड द इमोशंस. सो एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आई एम द स्टूडेंट हैज एन अर्जेंसी. मेरी क्लास है, मुझे पढ़ाई करनी है, आई मीन आई हैव टू गो बैक होम, आई हैव टू रीड माय नोट्स एंड एवरीथिंग. So there's a culture that has been developed. I do always believe that online में that culture is lacking because I don't know how my students are studying. I can, and it is, coaching is never about teaching the ranker. Ranker पढ़ लेगा हमेशा. It is about making that weak student get that rank. In coaching, we identify those people. We find out the backbenchers. We work on them, and that is the real pleasure of coaching. That is the thanks that counts. Ranker rank ले आएगा, कभी भी उसमें हमारी बहुत कम होती है, 10%, 20%, whichever coaching institute it is. It is those bank benchers making their life that matters.
Yes.
So I miss that.
Okay. So it's like for me it's like कोई भी platform choose करो, either it's offline or online. The basic thing is stick to it. कोई भी एक लो, stick to it पूरे time के लिए. ये नहीं कि आज ये करा, कल कोई और ऐप ले लिया, कल कुछ और ले लिया, right? कोई भी एक लो and stick to everything.
Always.
So I think that's it, sir. I think we covered almost everything about the strategy and what is it like. Anything you else want to say, or you do want to take any questions from comments?
You can, if there are any comments, basically I cannot see the comments. Okay, now I can see that. You can choose any of the questions and ask me.
Most of the question is what is the passing marks in both next?
Beta, passing marks it's still not cleared by the government, so that is why I'm not commenting on that. But
Yeah.
consider it 50% and start preparing.
Exactly.
If
So
you
most question.
Sorry.
Yes.
No, say it, please.
No, just I'm saying this. Most question are basically around this passing marks. Still not clear, right? As you said.
Yes, it's still not
Take
clear.
as 50 and start studying. So yeah, that's
You
all
can
I
take
can
up more
say.
questions if you want.
Okay, I will check if there is any. No, sir, I think most of them are already cleared. Most of the people have the same doubts, almost same doubts.
Glad, Keshav, that we did this session. Really enjoyed it. And I just hope that we keep talking like this. It's a very healthy
Yes, sir. We'll do more sessions like this.
That's great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye. Take care.